Hello there, my name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on 3 e-liquid flavours which I received from www.e-cig.com. Before I start, I must point out I did receive them free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. My opinion of the product remains true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so the 3 flavours they sent out are the Frost, which is like a menthol, the Juicy Fruit and Tobacco. It's not got a fancy name, it's just called Tobacco. They're all 18mg strength, and as far as my memory, if my memory serves me correctly, they are all EU sourced ingredients as well, or made from EU sourced ingredients. Going to be starting off then with the Frost, which I've already preloaded into my Airy tank, and I'm just using my Pro Vary, which is for those who are interested, currently set to 4.2 volts. As you see, it produces plenty of vapour. Obviously, the amount of vapour you're going to produce is not really particularly down to the e-liquid, though it does help. It is going to be sort of dependent on what sort of atomizer you're using, what resistance atomizer you're using, what voltage you're vaping at, what sort of device you're using, etc, etc. But nevertheless, you still, on my Airy tank, still getting plenty of vapour there. Now, flavour wise, like I'm a big menthol fan. I pretty much only really vape 2 things, and that'd be tobacco flavours or menthols. And I do like a really nice, proper strong menthol. Now, when I first tried the Frost, I wasn't overly keen on it. I liked the flavour, but the actual strength of the menthol for me was actually too strong. Having said that, since I've got it, I've not actually vaped anything else since, really, apart from I've had a quick blast on the other flavours. But I've mainly been, filling up my Airy tank with the Frost every day. So, it is very strong, but it's something I sort of did, get used to quite quickly. Some other people, if you don't like a strong menthol, then just completely forget about this one, because it does blow your head off a little bit. It is very, very strong. Definitely the strongest menthol I've ever vaped anyway. Having said that though, once you get used to the strength of it, it does become a very nice vape. And obviously if you've got something like the Pro Vary, where you can boost the voltage up a little bit, then that intensity gets even stronger as well. Throat hit wise, you get that really nice sort of strong throat hit. Like I said, these are 18mg strength e-liquids, and I personally find that the higher the nicotine content of the e-liquid, like the stronger or the harsher the throat hit. And 18mg is not particularly high, but it's not low either. It's sort of right there in the middle, and I'm still getting that really nice strong thump in the back of my throat. And like I said, the intensity of it, for ages afterwards, like your tongue doesn't feel cold, but your whole mouth just sort of really does taste very strongly of menthol for a good sort of 20 minutes later. So like I said, if you're not that overly fussed about a really exceptionally strong menthol, you might not like it. If you're searching for the holy grail of sort of menthol strengths, then you'll probably absolutely love it. Okay, so next one I'm going to use called an X Power 900 or X900, which also kindly sent out to me, and I'm going to use the just going to be direct dripping some of their Juicy Fruit e-liquid. That's the one. So I'm just going to about 3 or 4 drops to it, and this one got a nice smell to it, nice sort of fruity, bubblegummy sort of smell. This is just a standard resistance atomizer on this one. Flavour wise, now if you've ever bought the Wrigley's Juicy Fruit chewing gum, it comes in like the bright sort of yellow pack. it tastes exactly like juicy fruit chewing gum. That's what it tastes like to me anyway. And that is a flavour that, you know, I do personally really enjoy, that chewing gum. And if I do go and buy chewing gum, then that'll be the one I normally get. However, like I said, I'm not a major fan of sort of vaping sort of fruity flavours, so it's not something I'm going to be sort of vaping on all day. But nevertheless, it is still a very nice flavour. And like I say, if you recognise what I'm talking about when I'm saying about the juicy fruit chewing gum, and that's pretty much exactly what it tastes like. Having said that, like, there is a the aftertaste. It's got a very slightly strange aftertaste. Now, thinking about it now, actually, it could just be because I've been vaping the menthol beforehand, but it does taste a little bit as though it's got a slight minty aftertaste to it. But not like mint as in like a, you know, like tree boy extra strong mints or menthol. But imagine the if you went out to your garden, if you happen to grow sort of like mint in your garden, and you went and picked one of those leaves and then chewed that. It's that sort of mint flavour. It's not strong at all. Don't get me wrong. It is just very, very subtle. But I can definitely taste it there. But I said though, I have just vaped menthol, and thinking about it, the other times when I've tried the juicy fruit, it has been after I've been vaping that menthol as well. So it might not be a valid point at all. Throw hit on this one doesn't. Well, it's definitely not as strong as the menthol one, because again I find that with menthol e-liquids they do tend to you know, boost the throw hit up a little bit. So you know it's a good one if you like to reduce your nicotine level of your e-liquid. And if you like menthols and get yourself a nice strong menthol, you can go quite low on the nicotine. Or the amount of nicotine that's in the e-liquid, and you still get a nice throw hit. But with the juicy fruit, the throw hit is definitely not quite as strong as the menthol one. But nevertheless, you're still getting that kick in the back of your throat. Okay, so the last one, I'm just going to actually swap the atomizers over now for the same sort of one. I think this is a low. This is a brand new atomizer. I've not used it yet, and I believe it is a low resistance one. And this is the tobacco flavour. So let's stick 5 in there. So there we go. And this is quite a nice flavour. This one. I think it's just a standard resistance atomizer, this one. Yeah, the flavour of it is very sort of typical of your EU sourced tobacco flavours, which I'm pretty certain all come from the exact same place. Now normally I'm not overly keen on these ones. There are some nice ones out there, but got to be honest, I much prefer the Chinese made tobacco flavours. They really do know how to make a proper tobacco flavour. Having said that though, this is actually not too bad at all. It's got quite a strong sort of caramel sort of taste to it as well. And it's got that sort of smoky sort of tobacco flavour to it. But it's definitely a little bit more on the caramel side rather than tobacco, I would say personally. Now I find that with a lot of the EU sourced tobacco flavours, if they put in slightly too much flavour in, then it really does sort of kill it at all. It does need to be quite subtle, and this is quite subtle in the tobacco, which actually makes it like quite a nice sort of caramelly sort of smoky vape. Throw hit again, not quite as intense as the intense. Yeah, it is the right word again. Not quite as intense as the menthol flavour. Like I said, menthol does tend to give that throat hit a little bit of a stronger kick to it. But again, like you are still getting that nice strong kick in the back of your throat. Again, like, it's not a tobacco flavour I'd normally vape. However, this is something that, you know, I could quite happily vape on all day. Like I said, the flavour's not really really strong. It is quite a subtle flavour, which is what I prefer if you you know, use or vape in the like the EU source sort of tobacco flavours. But yeah, it's a very nice, pleasant vape though. Not a great deal else I can really tell you. Obviously, you know, it is an e-liquid review, and it's only my sort of very poor palate that I can talk about. So, but if, you know, if you fancy trying some of these flavours out for yourself, go along to www.ziggycig.com. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cigreviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.